What's going on, guys? Talking on a topic that some of us had made peace with when we signed that dotted line to serve, and that is death. And some of the things that need to be thought about around that are life insurance and the policies. So if you've got family, kids, etc., you want to make sure that you don't necessarily leave them in a bad spot if something should happen. When we're active duty for the Marines and or military in general, obviously we have SGLI and VGLI when we get out. And those are some options that you have. But if you did let it go or didn't sign up for it, there's some other options now that you're out as a veteran. So today's video is going to be specific to the veteran side of things. With that said, benefits.gov, the VA has released a new life insurance policy that's going to be effective and starting here January 1st, 2023. With that, they have a platform or policy that is going to be going out, and you have until December 31st of 2022 to put in and try to be getting the S-DVI, which is Service Disabled Veterans Insurance. That policy and that eligibility is $10,000 worth of coverage. Veterans that have S-DVI coverage are totally disabled and eligible to have their premiums waived if so. So you can put in a request to have those premiums waived. And so you can additionally go up to $30,000 more for a grand total of $40,000. On that additional 30, if you got the first 10 waived, you will have to pay the premiums. So just take that into account. They do have additional information. I'll make sure that the links are below here if it's something that you want to look at. Obviously, that's something you're going to have to kind of jump on quick to meet that deadline here at the end of December. If you wait it out and decide to take on their new platform that they're putting out there, January 1st, VALife, Veterans Affairs Life Insurance, is going to be into effect at that point, and it's a whole life policy, so take that in consideration, not a term. And all veterans aged 80 and under who have a VA disability, anything from 0 to 100%, with no time limit to apply. So you can obviously apply if you're within those age brackets. If, however, you have a veteran that is above 81, they are eligible to apply if they are within 2 years of receiving their rating. So there's still some possibility to get this VA life insurance if you're above that age bracket of 81, but it has to be within that 2-year effective date that you had for your disability rating. With that said, they did put out a PDF that's got kind of the breakdown of when things come into place, when stuff is effective. For the new VA life insurance policy, if you're paying premiums, you're going to be paying those premiums for 2 years before the policy is effective. So if something happens and you pass before that 2-year period, they're not going to pay it out. They're just going to pay back the premiums that you paid in. So that's something that you want to make sure you understand. Obviously, if it is something that you're looking at doing it sooner rather than later. And they do have a chart as far as what your premiums are going to look like per $10,000 up to $40,000 in coverage. So, for instance, somebody in my age bracket, 40 years old, you're going to be paying $22 a month for 10 grand, and for every 10 grand up to 40 grand, it's an additional $22 a month. So, $44 a month for 20 grand. $88 a month for 40 grand. Not bad. And the other thing that they did mention on here is that the premiums, once it's locked in, your premiums are not going to go up. So that's actually a huge deal because typically once you have a policy like that, as you get older and the different things happen in the market, policies can substantially increase. So take a look at the links that I post in below to see where you're at for some of those different price points. Just as a instant, if we go all the way out to somebody being 60 years old, it's going to be $50 a month for 10 grand. And if you go up to that 40,000, it'd be $200 a month. And I'll make sure that the chart is posted down into the description area. But this is definitely something to take into consideration. Obviously, nobody wants to pass, but if something does happen, we definitely don't want to leave wife, kids, husband to have that and then worry about paying the house payment, paying to have you buried, paying to have all the different things happen. If you've got car payments, if you don't have insurance around that, you're going to put your family and or kids in a position where they've got to make some really tough and rough decisions. And that may include selling the property, selling different things to keep on going. And if you can make it a little bit easier when something like this happens, highly recommend it. Something that I did is I did both do the VGLI when I got out, which is the $400,000 policy, and I pay that monthly, and I think that's something like $48 a month right now. And then I did do a term policy that's good out until 63 years old, and that was based off of some income and other things. That being said, a policy like that, something that has versus what this has, is there's going to be typically a medical requirement where you're going to have to talk to a physician. They're going to be looking at you for physical issues. They're going to be looking at you for mental things. So if you have a disability rating with PTSD, depression, etc., you may understand how difficult that can be to get life insurance, whereas with this new policy, VALife policy and other things, there's no medical requirement there. So those are things to take into account, especially if you have any of that type of stuff on your disability rating. If you have heart issues, high blood pressure, all those things can definitely make it difficult to get a life insurance policy. That is not going to be an issue with this one. So if you do have any questions, comments, concerns around this specific item, certainly reach out, ask questions. Got the different social media platforms out there. We've got the Life After Serving YouTube channel, the Facebook group Life After Serving as well, private group. For those of us that are part of the community, we will verify prior service, whether it's first responder or military veteran. And then the different social medias. If you could, I would ask that you not only subscribe to the YouTube channel, but please share what we have out there and help others that are in the community. If you know fellow veterans, fellow first responders, please share the information with them, get them over to our private group and get them over to the YouTube channel. We are putting together a website, which will be lifeafterserving.com. That'll have our different information out there. We are going to put together not only the private Facebook group, but we'll have some courses. At this point, it's going to be free courses where I just put together some different things on topics such as buying houses and credit and job applications, starting a small business, government contracts, medical and mental health, some of the things that I've gone through and some of the programs that are out there, service animals, service dogs, where you can look at that kind of stuff. So we will have some of that stuff together as well, and I would ask that you share that with the community so that we can get the word out there of what's available for those of us veterans and first responders that are making that transition and whatever that looks like, if it's another new career, civilian side, or just retirement. But if you could help, I appreciate it, and if you need anything, reach out. Thanks, guys.